This is an opportunity to build something that you don't have to make a massive investment into, something you can do while keeping your job like I did. So my wife and I kept our jobs while building this business. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to take that big risk. And I think it's important for people to know that.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the latest edition of FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast. I am Tim Parmeter, founder and CEO of FranCoach and your podcast host. Today, we have a franchisor coming on to join us to speak about their brand. And I'm trying like crazy on this one, folks, to really kind of temper my excitement, because I think this is about the coolest dang brand to come along in a long time. I think it's going to be a huge thing down the road. Now, that does not mean you should own it in any way, shape, or form, because it is completely individualized and personalized. But for anybody out there that might want to, I'd really love to keep my job and have something. I'd love it to be super simplistic, a lot of tech, very, very low, almost no labor membership model with multiple other revenue streams that really at its core is all about your local community and making lives better. I don't know if any of that sounds good. Maybe keep listening. If not, what the heck is wrong with you? But I'm really excited to hear this story of this founder and then share a little bit about the brand. That is coming up in a moment after we do a quick reminder of who we are at FranCoach. FranCoach is the premier franchise consulting firm. Our number one goal is to properly educate you on franchise ownership to determine if you should own one. And if so, we're going to help you find your absolute best fit. Our educational approach ensures we focus on the client's best interest. We are not here to sell you a franchise. In fact, we don't sell anything. Finding the best franchise to own is an incredibly personalized and individualized process that can only work with a team of experts focused on what is truly most important. That's you. FranCoach, our services are always 100% free to use, so reach out to our team. Click the QR code or find us at francoach.net. Now, let's get back to the show. All right, folks, we are back on the Franchising 101 podcast, and joining us from way up in Michigan is Bob Lorincz. Bob is the co-founder and CEO of, I think, the most exciting and intriguing franchise model I've run across in a long time. It is Pickleball 365. Bob, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Tim. I'm thrilled to be here.
But same here. And I've got a bunch of things. And let me start off really fast. Do we actually call it Pickleball 365 or 365?
You know, it's funny you say that. And I started with Pickleball 365 in the early days, and now saying it so much, Pickleball 365 just kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit easier. So that's what I'm going.
Okay. And call it whatever you want, just own it and or be a member, basically. Right. So we're going to get into all the great things with the brand here in a second, but I always start with, as you are finding out in the franchising world, this is all about people, and getting to know their stories are always fun. Share with everybody a little bit about you. There's the co-founder, your way significant other. Give us a little of your story of how all of this even kind of came about.
Yeah, and you know, it's very exciting because, as you know, obviously, Tim, a few years ago, you and I connected. So I actually took a look back at some email history to make sure I get it right. It was, so in 2023, I turned 49. And for me, that was my trigger. A lot of people, it's 50, but for some reason for me, after I turned 49, after 25 years, 30 years in technology space, and being displaced multiple times, I started to really panic and freak out about my future and what it looked like if I lost the job I had at the time. So I was always looking for something else and always wanted to build something of my own. I ran teams and led teams my entire career. I believe I can motivate people. I believe I can follow a process. So I sought out yourself, and we started talking 3 years ago, and you introduced me to a few brands, and I was researching them, and literally at that same time in Christmas of 2023, my daughter and her boyfriend got us pickleball paddles, starter paddles for the first time. So as I'm looking at these opportunities, I'm getting introduced to pickleball. And I think very quickly where we ended up and what I said to you was, I love these opportunities, Tim, but I think I'm on to something special and unique here. I might try and go build something of my own. And I think we jokingly said, who knows, maybe our paths will cross in a few years again. And here we are now, just under 3 years later from that date we first chatted. And I'm back to talk about Pickleball 365. We built our own company and business, and we're excited to take it to this next chapter.
So people look at franchises and again, so many people the same story, like, hey, I've been working for somebody else for so long, right? And you start wondering what's going to happen. And the older we get, if you lose one of the jobs, it's just going to be even harder to get that next one. And jumping into a franchise feels really scary. You just went straight, like, scary on steroids. You started something completely from scratch with Pickleball 365. So I'm not super smart, so I'm going to guess it has something to do with pickleball, but explain to everybody what this business model is you created.
Yeah, Pickleball 365, we are Michigan's first, and around the country, we are the first premium indoor pickleball franchise model. And we're really built around three things: technology, community, and a smarter operating model. And putting those three things together give folks a different alternative to the traditional indoor pickleball facility, which around the country in many cases is 12 plus courts, food and beverage operations, large 30, 40, 50,000 square foot facilities, employees you have to manage, and all that. And for me, I started there and we looked at those opportunities, but with the market that I was in, I didn't feel it warranted. It was big enough of a market to build a 12 or 14 court facility. So then I started to think small and wanted to understand how could we maybe do this smaller. And for me, the epiphany was, the short version is, we were to visit some friends in Miami. The friend of mine was very big into ping pong, took me down to a local autonomous ping pong club. And when I walked in and we played for a couple hours, I looked around and I said, this is like pickleball. You rent a table, rent a court. They said they have open play. They do leagues. They do tournaments. They have monitors to keep score. And I thought, this is super cool. So I left there and found out what company is this that is doing this. And hence my current relationship with that technology partner, who is our technology partner. I found out I was one of the first folks to actually call them saying, can you do what you do in the ping pong space for pickleball? And of course, it was a very easy pivot for them.
Oh my gosh. I've certainly have a pretty good understanding of a lot of your journey here over the last few months. I did not know that part, and I'm just waiting for my wife now to reach out to whoever that is to figure out how to turn them into a franchise, and we'll have ping pong and pickleball. So, and then I think there's a lot of people that understand here over the last half dozen years, the indoor golf simulators have become kind of a thing. And some of the things in the pickleball space that came out early on were almost like Top Golf-esque, these big, massive things, which is great, but even Top Golf now is continuing to decline just because of the overhead and everything that's going with it. And some of those in golf are like that, but more than anything, some of the bigger golf franchises are literally like, hey, you come when you want to come and create that premium experience. I don't want to come in there and, hit into something I can't see or it doesn't track it. We want, like, if we're going to do it, we want it done really well. So you've taken all of that from a technology standpoint into Pickleball 365. From a technology standpoint, talk about some of those things that you have implemented that really make this such a premium experience.
Yeah, so it's a we refer to it as being a very frictionless experience. right? From the time you learn about our facility to getting in the door to play, we want as little of friction as possible. So what many facilities rely on is an app for this, an app for that, an app for this. For us, everything is all in one. You download one app, you make a reservation for anything we do at Pickleball 365. 20 minutes before your reservation, you open up the app, you're allowed to enter the facility, you can change, you can get ready, you can warm up. When you take the court, every court's got a 65-inch monitor for scorekeeping. We have Bluetooth buttons on the back of each court, and as players play and you complete a rally, one side or the other hits the button, and it keeps score for you, which is really helpful in pickleball. And then we've layered in nowadays, we've got replay technology. So when you have that great point that you want to be able to save that you don't know if you'll ever do again, you hit another button and it records the last 25 seconds for you and it plays it up on the monitor for everybody to see. And then you've got a copy of that clip that you can download and share on social media and say, check out my amazing shot. Some players use it for line calls. If you're unsure if the ball was in or out, you can use the replay for line calls. And then, the most exciting feature we launched just a few months ago is you have the ability to auto record a game and upload it to AI for analysis. We use that. Our coaches use that, right? So we have a full coaching training program. People come and get lessons. They have clinics, and then these coaches will dive into the replays through AI analysis and help players improve and grow. And that's been really successful just recently.
Oh my gosh. I love I was just, as you were talking about some of the replay technology, my brain goes to baseball and you're thinking about the ABS system for a ball or strike. Like that was in, that was out. Like, let's go to the replay. Right. And then, if on the slim chance I had a good shot, I would be just hitting the replay button over and over and over so everybody could see it. So, so you've done that, but there's, the court is also a big component of this, right? So most of the time people start playing this and it's outside and nobody really loves being on concrete, and we've got weather and all of those things. Talk about some of the steps you've taken from a court standpoint.
Yeah, so I'm very proud to say we are one of only a few handful JDC certified facilities around the country. JDC is John's Design and Consulting. For anyone that is into pickleball and watches the pros, Ben and Colin Johns are the two professional brothers. Ben is referred to as the GOAT, the greatest of all time on the male side for pickleball players. He's dominated the sport for a number of years. He and his brothers have played in thousands of facilities around the country and decided to start a consulting company to help other facilities build the right facility and not make the mistakes that they see around the country, which, like you mentioned, is paint on concrete, undersized courts that actually become a safety issue. When you don't have the room around you to play the game, it can become a safety issue. Proper lighting, proper spacing. So yeah, we are very excited, and they are a franchise partner of ours. So any franchisee that meets the requirements will automatically obtain JDC certification, which just basically means we've met the professional standards for a pickleball facility. And essentially what that means is any pro knows they can walk into a JDC facility around the country and there will be a minimum level of quality that comes with. And one of the most important aspects of that are our cushioned courts, which we're learning didn't matter very early on. But now as people play 4 or 5 days a week, and we hear regularly people will play at other facilities and they'll come back to ours and they'll be like, I don't feel the same when I play at your place as when I play at so-and-so. I'm a little more beat up. I'm a little sore the next day. Our cushioned courts have made all the difference in the world, especially for folks that like to play multiple times a week.
Yeah, I would say it's probably somewhat akin to a runner being on a really crappy treadmill versus a higher end treadmill, right? Just
Very
the
much
comfort,
so. You're going
right,
to feel
from-
the difference. Yep.
Yeah. And so you said something I want to come back to from like the professional standpoint, because we've got all ages and ranges with this. Talk about the different revenue streams, right? It's not just a membership or somebody coming in once in a while. We've got multiple revenue streams that your owners can tap into as well, correct?
We do. Membership is definitely a core component of it, but it's open play, reservations, leagues, tournaments, special events. We do a Halloween bash every year. Last year we did a New Year's Eve bash, and people are already asking, are we going to be running that again? So we do all kinds of special events, and then we host tournaments as well. The easiest way to put it is we do everything that any larger facility does. We just simply do it at a smaller scale. And the benefit of that is everything we do, we tend to fill up, where we have very high utilization rates for, because when we run an open play, it's restricted to 23, 24 people, not 60, right? When we do a league and we have 3 courts, we do 12 people, not 40. So it's a lot easier to fill the events by the nature of them being smaller. So there's nothing we don't do that any larger facility does. We just do it at a little smaller scale.
Got it. So you could have somebody. So I've literally never played pickleball. I think
We'll have to fix
one
that,
time,
but-
one time out in the driveway during COVID, right? Which I'm pretty sure that doesn't count. But what my kid would have been then, like 7. I totally dominated his ass. So, but I come there and I play you. It's going to be the reverse. You're gonna kick my butt all over the place, and I'm like, man, I'm tired of Bob whipping my ass. Like, how do I get better? You've got that opportunity for me as well, right? To get some coaching, get some lessons in there as well, correct?
We do. So it starts with, in our area, one of the most popular events is open play. Open play is a 2-hour time block where you can come by yourself. You bring your paddle, or you don't even have to bring your paddle. We have paddles and balls, but the idea is we have a paddle rack that you stick your paddle in, 4 slots at a time, 4 go on the court, 4 come off, right? So that's a general open play. Some of those are on a general skill level. We have some that are for advanced players, and we have some that are for beginner players. Okay. So you slot yourself where you feel most appropriate, and our coaches help do that.
I don't need to be there rolling in there with 3 of my friends. I could just roll in there and
all by yourself. And join next. 23 others that are going to put their paddle in and play along with you and welcome you. And we've also got free beginner open play courses, right? So we have a 90-minute clinic that we do 4 to 5 times a month, couple on the weekends, and they are an introduction to pickleball 101 clinic, absolutely free. And then there, people get to know our coaches, and our coaches help guide them and recommend, where should I start? Which open play should maybe I attend? Or people aren't going to be, nervous about playing, and they can help guide them.
Yeah, which goes back to what you talked about. One of your 3 things is in the community aspect, right?
Yes.
So people are getting a chance. You're starting out at a comfortable level, right? You don't want the beginner playing you, because we know you're the shark of this, right? And so which I would hope the founder of Pickleball 365 is pretty good at pickleball.
I'm decent. I definitely have room to grow.
Yeah. We're not listening to that. So, but you got that opportunity. So whether you bring in some people, or you just want, because you know it's going to be fun, you're going to have the community, you're going to get some exercise, all of those things. You literally can just show up. I'm a basketball guy from my youth, and you just showed up at the park, and you called next, and you worked your way into the court, and whoever was there, you went and you played. So really, you got the opportunity to do that. People can then you got the opportunity. Hey, there's 4 of us. We're going to reserve the court, and we want to come in and do that for 2 hours.
Absolutely
awesome. Okay, and then the tournaments, I know. It's not an earnings claim, but I know you guys just did a tournament not too long ago. It's not an earnings claim when it's a fact. But that's a big revenue stream for a short period of time. that probably then is also introducing somebody else to Pickleball 365 that maybe they're like, hey, there's this tournament, let's go play. Oh, I've never been there. And all of a sudden you've just roped in some new people to come to use your facility.
What if your 9-to-5 job didn't last forever? What if there was a better way to create professional success, your way, without fear of layoffs or downsizing? What if I told you that it's all possible through franchise ownership? Franchise ownership gives you a proven playbook to execute, so you can be in business for yourself, but not by yourself. But with thousands of franchises out there, how do you know which is the best one for you? That's where FranCoach comes in. FranCoach will help build out your ideal business model based on your talents, skills, and core values. Then use our proprietary knowledge of the franchises to bring curated options based on what you want, and then guide you through the vetting process until we find your best match. Individualized, personalized, and 100% free to you. Ready to control your future? Scan the QR code or visit francoach.net and let FranCoach help create your better tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a fantastic revenue gen. It is the single biggest thing we can do as a facility is run a tournament. And it is also among one of the harder things to do in terms of coordinating all that. So again, taking a different approach, we've always chosen to align with the cause. So every November we do Salute and Smash. I'm a former military, so we have a military veterans home, three in the state. We have one locally here. We donated $2,000 last year to that military veterans home. And then our most recent tournament that you're talking about had a couple members tragically lost their grandson in an accident. One of our partners, Yola, heard about it. They said, what can we do? Long story short, it was an incredible event. We hosted 264 players, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We played 410 games, and it was an incredibly successful event. A lot of hard work, a lot of hours actually running it. That was not autonomous. Autonomous doesn't mean everything you do can be entirely self-run, nor would we want this to be. There's an important part of being there, people getting to know you, you getting to know them. And to your point, we had people from up north Michigan drive 4 hours. We had people come from Canada 3 hours. We had some folks come from Ohio about an hour and a half away. And then an hour and a half away on the west side of Michigan that had never been to our facility before. And it's a great way to introduce new folks to the facility.
Oh my gosh. And the community aspect and the tie back into things is, one, I think anytime in life we can just do something good, right? And try to do the right thing, kind of gets lost occasionally. But again, just now everybody, they know they're contributing to that. It allows you to kind of get your name out in the community a little bit more and create that awareness. So we've talked a little bit about the facility and the tech and the court. What is, and you are working with our dear friends at Reimagine and Carly and everybody at her team for the real estate. What type of facility, how big are we looking at typically for something like this?
3, 4, or 5 courts is the model. And that falls anywhere between that 8,000 to 13,000 square foot space. So the benefit there is we're not competing typically for the same space that the bigger guys are, right? They're looking at 25, 30,000 square foot and up, big box retail, right? Converting Bed Bath and Beyonds is the popular thing being done around the country. So we don't compete in that same space. The other big, huge advantage is many of these facilities, let's just face it, there's certain requirements like ceiling height that are important to pickleball, which means a lot of times you end up in a light industrial type space. And at least here in the Midwest, there's what we call industrial parks, right? Areas where it's building after building after building, and you're buried somewhere deep in an industrial park. By the nature of the 8 to 14,000 and Pickleball 365 in Fairhaven being the perfect example, we are on a busy street corner, a busy intersection. We get tons of drive-by traffic. We are in 2 units of a 5-unit multi-tenant, 20,000 square foot building. We have 2 4,000 square foot units for a total of 8,000 square feet for our 3 courts. So it just, from the real estate side, there's more opportunity to be had than if you're blocked in that 35,000 and up square foot space.
Right. Or even the smaller, and you're trying to do, 2,000 square feet, class A, anchored by Target or something. Like every business wants that, right? You're in that, again, kind of that really good sweet spot for this. And so from an owner standpoint now, as you launch, right, you are just now like kind of freshly a new franchisor and looking for this. So look, let's be honest. There are going to be some people out there like, man, I don't want to be one of the first ones. Then great, this isn't for you. But there's an amazing opportunity to be had for this. We talk about autonomous from a business model standpoint, but you still need owners to do something, right? As you think about that kind of ideal owner coming in for Pickleball 365, do they need to love pickleball? Do they need to be do they need to be sports athletic? What are you kind of looking for them from a background standpoint, and kind of talk about what you want them to do?
Yeah, it's a great question, Tim. For us, I'd say the number one thing is people that enjoy or just even love the idea of building community and being around and creating community. Because honestly, that's where it starts. Many people make the mistake of starting with the facility and then backtrack. It's counterintuitive as far as I'm concerned. It's got to start with community. So an owner, a husband and wife, a team that is interested in being a part of and building a great community. Do you have to be great at pickleball? No. It will, it just would naturally help you understand if you've played the sport a few times, how it works, but by no means do you have to be any kind of high-end pickleball player or huge enthusiast. It's really someone with a business acumen that wants to run their own facility. We talk about it. 20 to 25 hours a week is what an owner operator would look at in investing. And this is actually a great opportunity to distill a little bit of the myth that's out there, because a lot of people say you need that human touch. If you're autonomous and you remove the human element, people won't come. We've not removed the human element. By being autonomous, it lets my wife and I actually focus on the things that matter to the facility and focus on enjoying our community. So we're there 4 or 5 nights a week, signing up, and we play. Not because we have to, because I still love to play every day and can't get enough of it. So why not? What better opportunity is it to know your customer than to be your customer? And that's what Deanne and I do, is we put ourselves in the shoes of the customer.
Yeah, no, I love it. And that, just the community aspect, I think is so key, and just getting, and even if you're not playing a whole as much as maybe you guys do, understanding how important that is and giving people the opportunity to have a place to go. That's, again, or people are not sitting on their ass, get up and go do something. And I think that's the beauty of the space pickleball sits in, while you're seeing so many of the, outdoor tennis facilities are now, you drive by and you're like, oh, that's not tennis anymore. That's pickleball, right? It's just a little easier on the body, easier to be competitive and more enjoyable than tennis. You hit it once and then hits the net, and you hit it again and you'll walk over that. Like, I always feel like that's such a boring sport unless you're really, really good. This gives people an opportunity to again, back to that community aspect. And everything feels a little closer. So you're, I don't want to say more intimate from a sports standpoint, but
you're right. And 2-on-2 versus 1-on-1, that makes a huge difference. The court is much smaller. So the barrier to entry, we stick a paddle in someone's hand who's maybe never played, but let's just say they played sports at some point in their lives. And 10 minutes, like, they're hitting the ball adequately back and forth and can have a good point. It can be that simple.
Yes. Nice. Well, we're going to put that to the test at some point. We're going to roll up there and we're going to play. Awesome. And it's kind of, in some ways, there's a lot of to me, a lot of things like that are similar to what's going on in the golf space, right?
Yeah.
From those places where it gives people an opportunity to just 24/7. You're in Michigan, right? Like, where there are times of the year where you're probably not going to go outside any more than you have to, right? And you're sure as hell not playing. Let's go out and shovel the pickleball court so we can go play, right? That's not going to happen. We've got that. I'm in my house in Arizona today and was out on a walk this morning. There's an outdoor pickleball court. There's 2 courts. There were 4 people playing on each court, and then there was a line of, and this is like at 6:15 in the morning, because it's going to be 112 today, right? Like, there's a really short window. You don't think I'm not eyeing real estate already around here, right? For the same thing. So again, create the community, get people off their butts, have some fun, get some exercise in with this. I know you're just getting started from a franchise standpoint, but what do you think somebody's concern is going to be coming into this and looking at what is it going to be pickleball related, the newness, the real estate? What any idea what you think the biggest pushback you're going to hear is?
Real estate possibly could be that, and then just being first, right? We need someone to take that chance on us, and we're fully committed. We've got our team entirely ready to go, and couldn't be more excited. So there's that hurdle we have to get through as well. And, I've thought a lot about this. I mean, for us, one thing I would do is, talk to our members, right? While I don't have that franchisee, I can say, look, talk to him and see how it's went. We have an entire community that can speak to our facility, speak to Deanna and I, speak to our family. And I think that could be very, very powerful in the beginning.
Yes, indeed. And I think just in general, hey, this is the Franchising 101 podcast. So in theory, we're educating people on franchising. Is the newer franchises, like, look at it. Some people, it's not. That's not for them. There's just not enough data or track record there. But the flip side is somebody coming in, and I know how, again, knowing you guys for as long as I have, how committed you are. Like, you're going to have those first franchise owners, they're not talking to, 17 different support people. No. They get the dude that started this whole thing, right?
Absolutely. I am 110% going to be there every step of the way. My wife, it's become a family affair. I mean, my wife, my daughter and her boyfriend, who she's still with and has been together now almost 6 years with them. He's also our head pro. He's got an incredible story of how he's went from player to coach to now coaching coaches. So that's an incredible story on its own. And it's a family affair. We've all, the 4 of us together, built this business over the last 2.5, almost 3 years. And you're getting the hands-on team that has done it with Pickleball 365 here in Michigan.
Yes, indeed. And, people sometimes will look at, when we hear this all the time, well, it's like, oh, my market phrase. Yes, but you don't understand my market. And everybody in franchising just kind of like cringes and rolls their eyes a little bit. I'm like, yes, we do. That's the whole point of franchising, right? But there's where you have started, and folks, go to the good old Google machine and look at Fairhaven, Michigan, is not the biggest metro area ever, right? And you've been able to build this wildly successful business from it. So I think what about my market? Like, just be quiet, people, if you're worried about my market, because it's again, we're going to understand the demographics of what that needs to look like. And it's kind of one of those that, like, hey, if we can do it here, we can pretty much do it anywhere. So you've started the hardest way, starting from scratch with no real model out there. It's not like you're creating a new cheeseburger place modeling off of 47 other cheeseburger franchises. This did not exist. You created it from scratch in a small community in Michigan, which is kudos to you and Deanna for that, because it's just incredible what's possible. And again, to be able to take this, I think if there's any comp, it's kind of the golf stuff, right? From the simulators. And again, if you go outside to play golf, great. You don't always want to go outside, or you want some place to just be inside and hit and have 24/7 access, which you do with this. And I want to talk about that a little bit, that 24/7 access. Talk about the utilization, right? So I know you guys have had, it's one thing for you to talk about your utilization, but you just got featured had a pretty cool feature about your utilization versus other things similar. So share that with everybody a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. So our technology partner PodPlay asked us a few months ago if they just said, like, what you guys are doing is incredible. As we look at across our network of clubs, we love what you're doing. We'd love to feature you in a case study. And in the back of my head, knowing that franchising was soon to come, I thought, sure, what better than have some third party validate it versus us just saying it. So I'll share the link, and maybe we can share the link to the actual case study for people to look at. But the coolest part of what came out of that is Pickleball 365 in Fairhaven, Michigan, with utilization based on a 24-hour scale, is booking more court hours today, a day, than a facility that is open 12 hours or 10 hours a day. And that's what was proven out in this case study when you compare us to facilities around the country. That was really exciting and quite a feat. I'll tell you, we get more reservations between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m., either weeknights or weekends, than we ever anticipated. Yeah. And it's interesting because we ask when we see a reservation come. We wake up in the morning Sunday and we found out from 2 to 4 a.m. 12 people came and played. So then we'll reach out to them and we ask them, like, what brought you here at 2 a.m.? We hear everything from a group of nurses who work the afternoon shift wants to play after. It's timing. There's no other option. Every facility around here shuts down at 11 o'clock at night. And if you want to play after that, we are the only option. And we've had folks drive an hour and a half every weekend for a month in a row to come play because they feel like they have the place to themselves, which they do. At midnight, 1 a.m., you do have the place to yourself.
Yeah, I think so often we just get caught up in our world of, like, I mean, if it's 9:30 and I'm not in bed, it's really about that time. Right, that we're not thinking that somebody's going to go in there at 1 a.m, but somebody in the medical field where there's not a franchise, but there's a 3-bay golf simulator place here in this small little town. But it's a big mining community, right? And so those guys that get off and they're like the odd shifts that most people don't work, it's still there, and they're going in and they're playing golf, and you're having the same thing. Like, hey, this is my time to work out, and I can't go outside because it's dark and there's no place else to go, right? It's not going to be your boom and peak hours, but Correct. If you're able to pull people in there, and then now they know, maybe they show up to one of your tournaments, right? Or days off, now they know they're going to, well, I'm already going there then. Why don't I come here for these other times? So it really is key to be able to kind of drive people in. And part of the tech that you didn't talk about is it's not like it's unwatched, right? There's probably 406 cameras in the building all over the place, watching and securing everything.
Absolutely. That is an important thing to note. And it was one of my biggest fears early on, wondering, what if it's 3 a.m. and something happens? So the facility is monitored by human people, 24/7. And that's through our technology partner and comes with the autonomous package.
Oh, nice.
And I will tell you, we've been called a few times. About 3 months in, we had a elderly gentleman slip and break his hip on the court. We got a phone call within 30 seconds. I live 7 minutes from the facility. By the time I pulled up the video before I headed out the door to see what was going on, EMS was there. And by the time I got to the facility, they were just about driving him away. He's made a full recovery, I'm happy to say. But I mean, that's an example of there are people watching. And if you have an emergency, there's a security protocol. Start with this person, and then include fire and emergency, depending on the nature of the emergency.
Yeah. I'd love to sit here and try to go, Bob, geez, you totally forgot this or you totally forgot that. You've got everything laid out for people. with this. And so I want to kind of I've got two questions. I had one, but I have one more. Do we have merch?
We do. I'm not doing the greatest job of showing it, but we have one of our partners, our preferred vendor partners, who's responsible for all our signage, is also responsible for providing merch. And we have everything from shorts, short sleeve, long sleeve, hoodies, sweaters. We stock it all, and even better yet, you're not forced to stock everything on hand. We have an online store that franchisees will be able to make use of as well, that they can earn apparel revenue from.
I'm a size large in a t-shirt, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
Noted.
Bob, I'm a little, honestly, Bob, I'm a little disappointed. I haven't seen some Pickleball 365 stuff just yet.
I'm so sorry, Tim. I will be sure to get that off into the mail this week for you. I absolutely will.
Yes, I knew you're going to go, well, where's my FranCoach crap? So, but what's the last thing I want to kind of throw at you, because I feel like I could, there's the, me, the cheesy podcast host asking questions, and then there's me, the founder and CEO of FranCoach, and just pure curious person of, I think this is going to be absolutely fantastic and huge for you guys. I don't know that you fully understand what you're getting yourself into from what this can turn into, but if there was one last thing that we haven't talked about Pickleball 365. So you got somebody sitting out there going, geez, I don't know if I want to own a franchise or not, and which one. What's maybe one last thing you want to share about this brand that we haven't discussed?
I want people to be able to take away, right? This is an opportunity to build something that you don't have to make a massive investment into, something you can do while keeping your job, like I did. So my wife and I kept our jobs while building this business. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to take that big risk. And I think it's important for people to know that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just from a overall standpoint, I absolutely so excited for you guys for and congratulations and kudos to you for what you have created.
Thank you.
So because again, there was no real model for this other than like ping pong in South Florida, right? Which love that inspiration, but this is it's so well thought out. You've got good people around you to help support you, especially from that real estate standpoint. Because Carly and her team are fantastic, and so again, I thank you so much for coming on. We got to do this again here in about a year, and we'll talk about where we're sitting with everything. But Bob, just again, such a pleasure to talk to you, and thanks for joining us and talking about Pickleball 365 today.
Thank you for having me, Tim. It's been an absolute pleasure. I appreciate it.
Same here.
Hey, thanks again for tuning into the Franchising 101 podcast brought to you by FranCoach. I hope these episodes continue to educate you on the amazing possibilities that can be achieved through franchise ownership. In between podcast episodes, if you still want to learn more about franchising and the ways in which FranCoach can help, there are a few places for you to check out. First, tune in to the Franchising 360 show. It is the only nationally syndicated television show about franchising hosted by me and Danielle Wright. Our TV show airs every Friday, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Biz TV. Next, check out the FranCoach YouTube channel, which is FranCoach for You. You can find tons of franchise-specific content there. Plus, you can catch past episodes of the Franchising 360 show. If you like to read, we encourage you to check out our book, Becoming a Franchise Owner. You'll never guess what it's about. And finally, when you're ready to take that first personalized step and explore the franchise industry further, please reach out to our amazing team at FranCoach. You can click the QR code or find us at francoach.net. There is never any fee for our service, so let us help you create your better tomorrow.